Teens share everything. That may include the bacteria that can cause meningococcal disease known as meningitis. Even if your teen's been vaccinated in the past, they could still be missing meningitis vaccinations. Ask your teen's doctor or visit meningitis.com today. Sponsored by GSK.
Choice Hotels get you more of what you value. Comfort Inn, it's calling your name. Save on the stay. Oh, and free waffles are yours to claim. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
This is the Joe Concha Show, weekday edition, sponsored by the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Here's Joe Concha.
And welcome everybody on this hot Tuesday night. Oh, man, my wife, I don't know if you guys have this problem, or gals for that matter who are listening, but there is always a temperature disagreement within my household. Here's the way I like it. 69 degrees and just... You know what? It's warm enough. It's cool. I'm not sweating in my own house. My wife, however, would prefer to keep the air conditioning off like almost always. So at one point today, I'm writing something for my book, and I see drips of sweat start to pop onto my keyboard on my computer. I'm like, I'm sweating in my own home. What is going on? I look over at the temperature gauge. It's 78 degrees in my house. I said, honey, why is the air conditioning off? Oh, I was cold before. Meanwhile, the real feel is like 97 degrees outside. But when you're Scottish and you're thin, like she is, I guess, you know, it's easier to get cold. And yet to this moment, even hours later, despite me putting this air conditioner at like 65 degrees, I can't get this house below 74. Oh, so... Literally, as I'm doing this show, currently sweating, which is great. You know, you sit, you do a radio show, you get paid for it, and lose weight all at once. So that's what's going on here. And I don't know if you saw the temperatures that's coming to the New York, New Jersey area, and basically much of the country. But 103 as the high on Thursday, with a real feel of about 108 and 109. Where am I, Phoenix? I can handle 95. Yeah, you get these 98 degrees, you know, those sort of days once in a while. 103, 108. Oh, so we're going to the Jersey Shore on Friday, and it will be cooler there because the ocean is cool still at this time of year, thank God. But I don't know, man. I just like the in-between. Give me the 81-degree day where you get a little bit of a breeze, and that's nice. Once you start jumping from either like negative 5 degrees, and then before you know it, it's 99, 103. I need some sort of, I moved to Maine. No, I'm not moving to Maine. What am I kidding? Who am I kidding? Anyway, let's get into the show, shall we? No more complaints about the weather because no one cares. There's nothing you really do about it anyway when you think about it. So there you go. Democrats hate America. Yeah, I've been talking about this a lot on Fox recently, and now the polling is in. This is from CNN, mind you. Here's Harry Enton talking about just how much Democrats loathe this country as we head into our 250th anniversary. Cut number 3, go.
You know, among Republicans, 93% are extremely or very proud. Just a single one, say they have little to no pride in being an American. But look over at the Democratic side. This is where we've seen this extremely or very number. It's been taking a tumble at 27%. Which is way different than the 93. You do the quick math with me here. What is that? That's a 66-point difference here in terms of extremely or very. But look at this. The little or no proud to be an American actually among Democrats eclipses is greater than the extremely or very proud number. So we are just living in such a different universe if you're a Republican versus a Democrat on the basic fundamental question of being proud to be an American.
And during the Obama administration, for example, that 93% of Republicans that were proud to be Americans, that number was the same. So it didn't matter who was in the Oval Office. You believed in the country. You believed that the country, the Constitution, what our founders envisioned way back when, was greater than one man in the Oval Office. And now Democrats are just miserable people who I couldn't believe that story out of Seattle where half the fans there, according to a poll they did in the Seattle Times, were conflicted about rooting for the United States because of who we are or something. These people don't know how good they have it. Now, if you're a Democrat politician, then I guess you exploit that and talking about how horrible this country is and how things need to drastically change. And that's how you get elected, I guess. Put out the radical stuff like Darliza Chevrolet, the next congresswoman of district whatever in New York, literally saying that we need to abolish prisons. And if you murder someone in this country, if you're black or Latino, you shouldn't necessarily go to jail because you're probably under stress from being a minority or something. This is crazy stuff. And Zohran Mamdani endorses all of this. And now people talk about that. Boy, it's a shame that he can't run for president. Oh, boy, you people are way over your skis on this one. As they are with James Tallarico, he is running for Senate in Texas, the ultimate Lucy pulls the football state, where we were told Beto O'Rourke, he had such a shot to be senator, or governor, or even president. And he went 0 for 3 on that front. Now here you have Democrats rallying around Tallarico. They really think that he could win down there, a state that Trump won by 13 points. And if he were truly moderate, then maybe he's got a shot. But we could go through the litany of things that this maniac has said. God is non-binary. There are not one, not two, but 6 sexes. He's running a non-meat campaign. And, oh, yeah, all of his letterhead for the campaign, they have his and her pronouns. The first Democrat in Texas to ever do that. And if you think that this is actually going to sit well with voters, especially the fact when he just recently, he didn't say this recently, but audio has emerged of him saying that he hates Christianity. Uh-oh. Yeah, good luck. No shot he's winning, but nevertheless, Dems are oddly rallying around this guy with the worst messaging possibly ever. Here's some random guy who was picked to introduce Tallarico at a rally near Dallas recently. And I mean, if you think you're going to win with this message, guys, you are out of your mind. Cut number 4, go.
Next time they say that James is trans, we're all trans. When they say James is a gay tofu-eating vegan, we're all gay tofu-eating vegans.
I don't know where you're going with this.
And when they say James is going to hell, we'll say we're all going to hell.
Whee! Oh, it's going to win. That's absolutely going to get independents and Republicans to come over to Tallarico's side. No question about it. Ken Paxton wins. We save the tapes around here by 4 or 5 points. And I'm being very generous with that prediction. Texas ain't voting for that. If he's running in New York City, yeah, he'd be, trust me, winning by 60 points. Because that works here. That ain't going to work in Texas because you don't mess with Texas. Meanwhile, Hakeem Jeffries is, and Kevin, you know what to get ready after this. He is now melting down over the fact that, you endorse some candidates that haven't won. The socialists keep winning, and now they're coming for you next, Hakeem. And you want to talk about somebody who's just so bad at handling any question that is remotely confrontational or tough. He gets defensive and so insecure. He's just not good at this, as you will hear in cut number 6. Go.
There seems to be growing concern within the New York delegation that your endorsement doesn't hold the weight that it once did, that the mayors may perhaps carry more. Do you feel that's fair?
Who in the New York delegation has articulated that, since you're referencing growing
on
concern?
Background, so just as I would not...
So you don't have a name?
Well, I'm going to extend them the same courtesy that I would everybody else, but this question is about you.
Yeah, well, you asked me a question making reference to particular members, but then you didn't cite a member.
Right, because they're conversations on background, but what is your
anonymity,
response to
buddy?
I don't have a response to that, actually, because I think that it's, something that has not come up in any of the conversations that we've had.
When you think of garbage, think of Hakeem.
Thank you. One more time, Kevin. Can't get enough of that one.
When you think of garbage, think of Hakeem.
Yeah, and Hakeem, oh boy, if they don't win the House, this guy is absolutely effed. Right, not only does he not become Speaker of the House, which is his dream, like Gavin Newsom dreams of being president, he's not winning his next election. He will be primaried by these socialists, where he says, I don't know what anybody's talking about, that these socialists, maybe are coming for me, and you don't have a name to put to that yet. It's called anonymity, buddy. All right. Somebody went off the record to this reporter and said, Hakeem's in big trouble. Right. And now, again, if they don't win back the House, he's done as a politician. He'll be great on CNN or MS Now, but, and I mean that sarcastically, but that's where we are at this point. When you think of garbage, think of Hakeem. Anyway.
When you think of garbage, think of Hakeem.
Thank you, Kevin. That never gets old. Anyway, Jennifer Welsh, I don't know if you know who this person is. If you see her, she's like a younger version, I guess, of Joan Rivers before Joan unfortunately passed away. The Botox and the overall work done on this face makes James Carville look 21 years old. I mean, you want to talk about a person who has no business talking about anybody's looks. Forget the fact that she is a maniac, to use that word again, because she said after Charlie Kirk was killed that more Democrats should be celebrating his death and openly talking about it. That alone is insane. And now she's saying that, well, Black and Muslim people are smarter and better looking than the whiteys out there. And that's why Trump attacks them. Something. I don't even know what to make of this. But again, this is the new left, because apparently among liberals, this person is actually popular. And if this is the person that they're turning to, or Hassan Piker, oh boy, big problems in national elections and in swing states. Here's cut number 8. Go.
They don't want people to be able to fail forward the same way they do, because somewhere deep inside them, they know they're not the smartest people in the room. They know they don't have the best ideas in the room. Right. How do we know this? Because they're borrowing ideas from Nazi Germany, a failed experiment that led to a Holocaust of millions of people. But they're trying it again because they're so inferior and they're so terrified that Zoran Mamdani or that Barack Obama isn't white, but they're smarter, they're better looking, they're more liked. And I could go on and on and on down the list. Black excellence or brown excellence exposes white mediocrity, and they can't stomach it.
What does color have to do with intelligence? Can anybody explain that? I'm pretty sure that Clarence Thomas is an extremely intelligent person. Absolutely certain of that. I listen to Dave Chappelle, and I think the guy is a genius in comedy and also is probably a very intelligent person. In interviews that I've seen when he goes outside of comedy, he's a deep thinker. The point is that, again, when you say that, I guess MAGA can't handle Barack Obama or Zoran Mamdani because they're black or brown. Maybe they just disagree with their ideas. This is the Joe Concha Show. Back with so much more, I promise, in just a moment.
This is the Joe Concha Show, weekday edition, sponsored by the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Here's Joe Concha.
And welcome back, everybody. So, I love the Johnny segments on the Jesse Waters Show. I think Jesse gets what cable news and primetime should be. Where, yeah, you do the hard-hitting interviews, you do talk about the serious stuff, and get the right guests on to talk about that stuff. But there also is an entertainment value and factor to the whole thing. And Bill O'Reilly got that when he sent Jesse out to do what's called MOTS, or Man on the Street interviews, which were profoundly hilarious. Now, look where Jesse was and what he's become. He was a producer. I don't know how he broke in. He was probably an associate producer, production assistant. I mean, there are low-level jobs within broadcasting. When you first break in your 20s, you don't get paid a heck of a lot of money. And when you're asked to do something, you do it. And Jesse got an opportunity to do those Man on the Street interviews, and they went viral. And before you know it, Jesse has his own weekend show in prime time. That did really well. Then he's on the 5. Then he gets his own 8 p.m. show on Fox, replacing Tucker Carlson. And Jesse's numbers are better than Tucker's, which many people thought couldn't happen, right? When you lose all these people that were in prime time, and then they're replaced by other folks, and then the numbers just keep going up. It's Alabama football, right? You don't rebuild, you reload. And when you have a deep bench and guys like Jesse who paid his dues, it's great. So then Jesse understood that on his show, he needs a version of him. And Johnny does such a great job with these interviews. And always the questions, especially to millennials, just makes you weep for the future, that they don't know the most basic things that, I swear to you, my kid just graduated 4th grade in elementary school, and he can answer all these questions, no problem. I'm not being braggadocious. I just think that that's what they're taught. And these things tend to stick. Not here, as you'll hear, in cut number 9, go.
Why do we celebrate the 4th of July?
I honestly couldn't answer that.
Oh.
Well, actually not sure.
We celebrate the birthday of America.
Thank you.
Be lit and enjoy life.
That didn't used to be a trick question.
How old is America turning this year?
Oh, come on. Come on.
I have no idea.
Oh, really?
58?
58.
Is it actually?
No.
250?
Where do we declare our independence from?
Explain
That's
that a little
easy.
bit further. What do you mean by where?
Oh,
The United States.
Great Britain.
Mozambique, Africa.
Mozambique.
You're kidding, right?
What was the name of the war in which we fought for our independence?
Oh, come on.
Civil War.
Really?
The Civil War.
Yeah.
No.
Oh God.
Oh, no. Just no.
I actually don't know.
The Rev.
Bro,
I don't know.
French and Indian War.
Oh,
World War II.
no.
The Revolutionary War.
Yay.
Um.
Um.
Oh, boy.
You know, I think that.
What was the name of the general that led us to victory in the Revolutionary War?
The first president.
Does it begin with an A?
No.
Washington?
General
Lee.
It was not Hitler.
Then I have no idea.
I thought it was obvious.
What year did we declare our independence?
This is a very wild guess. The 1920.
1786?
1776.
1654.
Higher.
1730.
Higher.
1748.
Higher.
1778.
I didn't do well in school.
Democrats, they like to say Donald Trump is a king, but we know we don't have kings in this country because we kicked a king to the curb. What was his name?
Oh my God.
These are people that was at the Jersey Shore. And I can guarantee you, just if you watch the video, that probably 80% of them have gone to college or in college and still don't know those basic facts about our country. I don't want to be a curmudgeon. I get you're young, you're out to have fun. Maybe you can't know it, but I mean, some of those answers, I'm choking on my own rage here. What can I say? Anyway, this is Joe Concha. This is the Joe Concha Show. Back with so much more intelligent conversation, I promise you, in just a moment.
This is the Joe Concha Show, weekday edition, sponsored by the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Here's Joe Concha.
Welcome back, everybody. So, the World Cup has been awesome. I mean, I know a lot of you probably don't watch soccer out there, but especially Norway, the Norwegians are extremely cool, fun people. They took over New York last week when the team was playing here. Then they won today over Ivory Coast. That is a small African nation. 2-1. Just, if you appreciate the beautiful game, like I do now, because both my kids play soccer, it's truly just a classic game. They're going to go on to play Brazil on Sunday, which will be an absolute banger, no question. This goes on for such a long time. I mean, this tournament started, let's see, I want to say about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it won't end until July 19th with the championship over at MetLife in East Rutherford, New Jersey. But what we're seeing over and over again is that people are coming here from other countries, and they really, really like America. We talked about earlier in the show how Democrats basically now hate America, only 1/4 are proud to be American compared to 93% of Republicans. That's just an amazing stat to me. And again, if you don't like it, leave. It's very simple. It really is. Just find that utopia somewhere across the pond. Go to one of those socialist countries and then see how much you like it compared to what you have here. Again, the Constitution, freedom, the First Amendment, Apple, innovative company, Amazon, Google, Sydney Sweeney. What more do you want, people? Anyway, here are Americans. We keep buying, apparently, World Cup visitors drinks to celebrate an awesome World Cup at 250 and summer starting. And at least these are the positive ones that you want to hang out with. This is cut number 1. Go.
You bought you guys dinner?
Yeah, I bought all of our dinners. We went to pay and the guy was like, no, it's already been paid for.
They went for a beer this morning. Went up to pay for it. A lady already paid the beer for her. That is friendship.
We're hearing a lot of that.
Yeah, I was in a 7-Eleven there, and the police, they were buying like people's food and all that. They were just so nice. You would never find that in Scotland.
We've had a few drinks bought free of charge, which is great. We love that. But we've also reciprocated that, so it's no problem.
Are Americans representing? Is that what you're saying?
100%.
Okay, good.
Absolutely.
So
nice.
Meeting expectations or exceeding?
Way exceeding.
Isn't that awesome? And everybody's having a good time. And people love Sonic. Apparently, that's big. They love Big Gulps, 7-Eleven, all these things that over in Europe, I've been to Europe a couple times now. Italy, Croatia, Norway, let's see, Amsterdam, Paris. They don't got what we got here. I know it's not the healthiest stuff in the world, but anytime, anywhere, any food, any fun, Dave and Buster's. I mean, come on. We are an awesome country. And if you don't like it, well, again, get the hell out. Meanwhile, if you want to drive over this 4th of July weekend, we have our Interior Secretary, Doug Burgum, saying that, you know what? You probably want to fill up in a red state, and here is why. Boy, this is such a big difference between red and blue, and there's a big reason for it. In cut number 2, go.
If anybody's driving for the 4th of July, a holiday, here's a tip. If you want to save over 50 cents on a gallon of gas, fill up in a red state. The average price in red states is 53 cents lower than it is in blue states. The blue states, and I say blue states, those are states controlled by state legislatures that have adopted policies of less energy subtraction as opposed to energy addition. President Trump, his energy policy, laying the foundation for peace in the Middle East.
Did you hear that? 53 cents cheaper for gas in red states over blue states. And even here, I drive by this one gas station every day when I drop my kids off at school, or in this case, they're now at camp or at God school, which they're actually paying attention. I'm learning some things I haven't learned in many, many years as far as the Holy Trinity, Jesus Christ, Lucifer. Anyway, before I go off on a tangent, the point is that $3.69 is my current update that I give every day on the show. And a couple of weeks ago is well over $4. And it just keeps dropping like a stone. Obviously, this is a good development for the GOP. The midterms, you can't have gas that's way high because then Democrats say, hey, we're going to bring affordability. We know how to lower gas prices. They were higher under Obama without a war with Iran. So you got to think if it's June 30th now and gas prices are dropping the way they are, that by the time we get to the midterms, probably be around that $3 level. And that is something that will obviously take that argument away from Democrats, which again, they presided over the Inflation Reduction Act, which did nothing to actually lower inflation. It was above 9% under Biden. And now all these candidates are running on the fact that they know how to lower prices. I am certain I'd rather have this economy over the Biden economy with inflation around 3%, jobs reports continuing to outperform street expectations. We have a stock market that's at 53,000 now at this point. So things seem to be going in the right direction in that regard. The question is, can Republicans successfully articulate their argument and go on the offensive against these radicals, these socialists that are pretending to be moderates going ahead of this House and Senate races in November of 2024. Again, Democrats only have to win back 4 seats. That ain't hard. Given the precedent, the average is around 20 to the party that's not in power. 4 doesn't seem to be that high of a hill to climb, but then again, Democrats are so unpopular with their own party that perhaps you could hold on to a House Speaker Johnson and a Senate Majority Leader in John Thune, who isn't very popular right now with the base and especially the president because the Save America Act is not being passed. And here is President Trump talking about how the parliamentarian needs to be replaced. And the only person that could fire this person is not the president, but the Senate Majority Leader in John Thune, and he won't do it. And Trump gives the precedent here, and it's pretty telling. Cut number 19, go.
Yeah, have you talked with Thune about?
I have. No, I can't imagine why you'd keep a woman that was put there by Harry Reid and Barack Hussein Obama. I cannot understand it. The leader has the right to fire the person at will and put somebody else there. That would be, because we get so many negative rulings from her, the parliamentarian. She's been there for years, and she was put there by Harry Reid and Barack Hussein Obama. Harry Reid was a bad guy, and he was the leader, and he put her. And the speaker has the right to immediately fire her and put somebody else there. And it's not even believable that she's still there. She's obviously a good politician or something.
This person.
And that's the only way you get the SAVE Act passed, because this person is holding that up. And, oh, by the way, Tom Tillis of North Carolina, who obviously hates the president, Republican. And then you have Mitch McConnell, who has no business being in the Senate at this point, considering he does not know where he is. The guy has serious health problems. And because of some problem he has with Trump, he's not reversing his vote on the SAVE Act, which I don't, you got to put your personal feelings aside, right? What's the old line in The Godfather? You know, it's nothing personal. It's just business. And the business of the country is to make sure that we have elections that are free, that are fair, and we have only our citizens voting in them. It's an 80-20 issue, and McConnell won't budge, and Tillis is a prick, so he's not going to do the same thing. And then Collins and Murkowski, for whatever reason, also are no votes. So if you just want to pass this through a majority, they don't even have the votes for that right now because of these four particular senators. And before you say, well, Susan Collins, she's going to get beat by Graham Plattner in Maine. No, she won't. And you much rather have a Collins there who at least votes with the president sometimes, as opposed to a Plattner who wants to make sure to shut down the government, and he wants to also impeach Supreme Court justices. Meanwhile, speaking of the Supreme Court, here is the president responding to the Supreme Court decision. Now, there were a couple of decisions that came through over the last 2 days, almost at a blinding pace. One decision, which was, again, based in common sense completely and totally, it says that trans women, guys, all right, cannot compete against women in sports. And that is now the law of the land. That is what we're dealing with on a federal level now. It doesn't have to be state by state, and good, because no one wants this. And when Democrats went along with this, they were only doing it because they were pandering to the LGBTQ++ exclamation point, whatever other symbol you want to put there, and didn't actually, I would hope, believe that biological men who have such advantages just in chromosomes alone should not be boxing against women, should not be racing against women, whether it's track, whether it's swimming, does not matter. Now, the Supreme Court ruled that it is not allowed on a nationwide level. Good. However, they did strike down the Trump argument ending birthright citizenship, which is an antiquated deal and is being exploited, obviously, by cartels, by Democrats, and whatever intent was originally there when this became the law of the land as far as birthright citizenship, it is no longer applicable. But nevertheless, in a 5-4 decision, that went by the wayside. The president responds here in cut number 20. Go.
I guess I have to accept it's the Supreme Court, so I'll accept. I think it's very bad for our nation. We're the only nation that does it. No other nation does that birthright citizenship. No, not even close. Some did it, they ended it. It's tremendously destructive. It's extremely costly. I don't know, it's up to them. But in terms of for the good of the country, it would be great if they didn't allow it. It would be great. But I can't tell you, the Slaughter case was the big case today. That was really a big case because it gave strength to presidents and strength to the presidency, a very important case. It's been going on for almost 100 years, think of that. And this was the ruling that really topped everything by a lot today, yeah.
And unfortunately, you would think when you have 6 conservatives on that court, and that's due to President Trump, obviously, in his first term, appointing 3 conservatives on there, that Trump would win these cases. And it's just not happening. Because John Roberts, who was not nominated by President Trump, but by George W. Bush, has been a disappointment over and over and over again. He might as well be a Democrat, or at least not pretend to be a conservative. That's certainly for sure. Our friend Megyn Kelly, who was once a lawyer herself, she goes off on Roberts, and Amy Coney Barrett here in cut number 12. Go.
Justice Amy Coney Barrett, a Trump appointee. She's supposed to be one of ours. Why are they always so wiggly? Honestly, like the libs, you can take it to the bank. Kagan, Sotomayor, Ketanji Brown Jackson. I have to admire their commitment to their side. They never abandon their side. Only in the most obvious cases where they'd just get killed if they didn't, in terms of the, blowback, the rhetorical blowback. But they stick together. Amy Coney Barrett is a turncoat. She's constantly siding with the left. John Roberts, obviously, and he is pursuing the wrong agenda as Chief Justice. He's an institutionalist meant to protect the Supreme Court. That's not your job. That's not your job in the actual decision making.
And she was right about that. So over and over again, especially Amy Coney Barrett. I mean, boy, I don't understand. And Megan's so right about that. The Democrats every time, whether it's Sotomayor, Ketanji Brown Jackson, doesn't matter, Kagan, they will vote exactly the way Democrats want them to, or at least render decisions that are favorable to them. And Roberts and Coney Barrett are absolute wild cards. You never know where they're going to go. And Trump should be winning case after case. The Supreme Court going 6-3 conservative in theory is supposed to be a big deal for President Trump. And instead, it's been inconsistent and quite disappointing. Okay, before we go to break, this is absolutely my favorite clip of the day. Gavin Newsom talking about how if you want to be clean and sober, that's actually a sham. We really all need to self-medicate. And this is after he presides over a state with by far the worst drug and homelessness problem in the country, if not the world. And this guy is talking about, I like to have a nice Chianti when I watch the evening news because I'm not an elitist or anything. Oh, cut 13, go.
Clean and sober is one of the biggest damn mistakes this country's ever made. I know it's a hold your hand idealistic point of view that somehow magically, God bless some of you. If you're like me, I've been known to have a glass of wine at night watching some of the nightly news. Sure. We all need to self-medicate periodically.
Oh, great message. The same guy who went to the French Laundry restaurant that is in Napa. They have wine there at last check. Went there during COVID after he shut down the entire state. Went there for dinner. This is before any vaccine. In a restaurant, no mask. And this guy just gets away with it because there's a media there that simply does not want to hold him to account in these situations. And now he's saying, if you want to be clean and sober and actually lead a healthy life, it's actually a sham. We all should self-medicate from time to time. Hey, that's fine, I guess. But as a leader of a state where you have such a drug and homeless problem, probably not the message you want out there. Anyway, this is Joe Concha. This is the Joe Concha Show. We wrap this puppy up in just a moment.
This is the Joe Concha Show, weekday edition.
Joe Concha.
Sponsored by the Tunnel to Towers Foundation.
The World Cup is back and Football Weekly is going daily. From the goals and the glory to the politics and the problems, join me, Max Rushton, and our expert panel every day of the tournament. World Cup Daily, listen on Spotify now and watch the full episodes on YouTube.
This is the Joe Concha Show, weekday edition, sponsored by the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Here's Joe Concha.
Welcome back, everybody. So, I don't know if you saw this clip, and this has happened before. Caitlin Clark is, as I've said on this show and others, a generational talent to the tune almost of a Michael Jordan. And I mean in this sense. She comes into the WNBA, which has lost money year after year for many years. And the only reason why it survives is because the NBA subsidizes it. So they take the loss and they get a product out there and, yay, WNBA. But attendance has always been horrible. Ratings have always been especially horrible. Caitlin Clark then lights the world on fire when she's at the University of Iowa and is a shooter like we have not seen come into any professional sport in terms of basketball anyway. You want to say Steph Curry, you want to see Larry Bird. I mean, she's that good, that exciting to watch. And I remember with my daughter when she was playing basketball at like age 8, we'd all stop and watch Caitlin Clark play in the NCAA women's tournament because it was just that amazing to see a player that transformative. And the thing about Caitlin Clark is that, okay, she's white, but I honestly wouldn't care if she were black. Like, it's just the talent, the shooting that, trust me, watch the WNBA. The shooting ain't great. In fact, it's kind of cringy to watch sometimes. And the way she's so effortless in hitting threes from well beyond the arc and just being a great teammate in general. And now ratings for every game that she does is sometimes 2 or 3 times higher than other WNBA games that are on that don't feature Caitlin Clark and the team she currently plays for, the Indiana Fever. So she was going to the basket in a recent game, and a player knocked her down and then punched her in the throat, which could have killed her. I'm not exaggerating. You hit somebody the right way in the larynx and in that area, in the throat box, and it's lights out, especially these are professional athletes. And the WNBA doesn't stick up for Caitlin Clark the way they should. That player should be thrown out of the league. That's it. Not some little slap in the wrist, a suspension, a little fine. Thrown out. Because now you're getting into criminal behavior. And here is Riley Gaines, who, Riley, again, was a swimmer at the University of Kentucky, one of the top-ranked swimmers in the SEC. And she was the first person to stand up when trans athletes like Leah Thomas, a guy who was ranked 536th in the country in swimming, suddenly becomes a national champion when he starts racing against women because he's got like a body like Travis Kelce. All right. So, yeah, a little bit of advantage there. Here's Riley on Caitlin just getting abused in the WNBA, and they don't understand. She is the golden goose, and they just allow it to happen, and it's just so wrong. Cut number 15, go.
Dave Portnoy is right. The WNBA is the worst marketed and business-minded league in the history of leagues. You would be hard-pressed to find an organization more dedicated to self-imploding than the WNBA. Although I guess they don't have to worry about their profits too much since it steals from the men's league to pay for everything, so maybe they don't care about marketing or ratings. Here's what I'll say about Caitlin Clark. She is the golden goose of the WNBA, and they will not accept it. Is it because she's white? Maybe. Is it because she's straight? Maybe. I actually just think, Brian, that it's just jealousy all around. Now, I think that Caitlin Clark was the queen of the WNBA before she ever even played a game. She is a generational talent that revolutionized the game of basketball, who also happens to be white and straight, and that is why they hate her.
I think that's true. I think that's exactly true. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know what word to apply here before saying the next sentence, but I mean, there are a lot of lesbians in the WNBA. It's just a statistical fact. And the fact that, oh boy, she's white. And Larry Bird got the same nonsense, by the way, where Isaiah Thomas once said, who is a profound prick, that Larry Bird only gets the attention that he did because he was white and can shoot the ball halfway decently. Oh, forget all those championships. Forget the leadership. Forget how tough he was. It all came down to color. Anyway, this show is unfortunately over. And we're back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on WABC and on stations around the country, around the world.